Howdy, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. Let me just talk with you for a second about the role of recruiters in your job search and some of the mistakes people make when they start working with recruiters. It's mistakes in attitude, mistakes that come from misunderstanding the role. So the language of job hunters is that I'm going to contact a recruiter who's going to help me find a job, or I'm going to contact a bunch of recruiters and they'll help me find a job. Ready? Wrong. That's not the case. Recruiters are hired by organizations and paid to find people who fill jobs. But, they need me for this. And you're absolutely right, but you're a commodity. And I want you to hear that. If you think you're the only person in your market area who can do this job, you're deluding yourself. If you think you're the only person in the country who can do this job, you're deluding yourself. Job hunters are paid by corporations to find talent with specific backgrounds that can do the role. They're not there to help you transition 99.9% of the time. They are not there to be career coaches. They're not there to respond to your messages when you send a resume that says, "Hey, what do you think?" Give me a break. You're stealing time from them if you think they're going to critique your resume for you. And I have this happen to me all the time. People send me a message that says, "Take a look at my resume. Could you do a rewrite for me?" And they don't want to pay me anything for it. Like, help me understand why I'm supposed to do this. Because we'll build a relationship. Yeah, right. I'll never hear from you again. And that's my experience. I've only done this for 40 years. So recruiters are there to fill jobs by finding people who have specific backgrounds and and match certain preferences that an organization has that are designed to, and are paid as a result. Next thing that people make this goofy association with is that recruiters are rude and unresponsive. Well, you're a spammer many times. You're sending resumes to recruiters, and in no way, shape, or form does your background fit what they're looking for. And you're expecting them to stop, say, "Okay, let me call this guy, even though I will never have anything for them." Or, "Stop, this woman wants to make a transition into a completely different field, and she has no background in this whatsoever, but she wants to do it." So I think the rudeness really comes from the fact that you're contacting them and have expectations that are unreasonable. So recognize that when you try to steal someone's time, the result winds up being that you're the rude one because you're making demands of them that are completely unreasonable. Next thing is, recruiters are not out to get job hunters the best comp that they have. That they can get. And the truth of the matter is, the recruiter wants to do the deal. Hear that one. A recruiter wants to do the deal. And the deal that they want to do is the one that their client is willing to pay them to deliver a candidate for. So, for example, if you're offered $60,000 or $100,000 or $250,000, but you are looking for, $67,500 or $110,000 or $275,000, just for the sake of argument. Well, you may think that they're trying to scam you here, but the reality is the client won't pay any more for you. So their circumstances, they're not going to be paid unless you're delivered to them. So they want to do that, and they're going to try to be persuasive about why your value is not as high as you think it is. Now, hopefully you did research at the beginning of your search. You did that, didn't you? Most people don't. So let's not kid ourselves. You probably didn't do research at the beginning of the search, other than to ask friends or family, who have no real knowledge. "Hey, I think I'm worth such and such. What do you think?" That's what most people think is research, and that's not the case. I've gone into that in other videos. I'll just simply say that for you as a job hunter, you need to understand your value. And because you want it doesn't mean that you have that value. If the market is rejecting you and you've been on a bunch of interviews and no offers, no callbacks, no problem, no interest. Well, the market's telling you that you're not as good as you think you are, and you don't have the value that you think you have. So recognize this, and you have to be the one that adapts, or be prepared to turn down an offer and go on to the next thing, which is perfectly fine. But understand that the recruiter's there to do the deal. Lastly, recruiters care about building long-term relationships with people. They want to help people become hiring managers and hire from them, because that's really where they make more money. From your vantage point, you may think they're transactional, but that's because you've been a spammer most of the time. You've been submitting resume after resume after resume that in no way, shape, or form fits what they're looking for, wondering why you don't get a phone call. And if you think I'm wrong, folks, you got to live on my side of the desk and understand that I walk in on a typical day to 150 to 200 emails and messages in my LinkedIn inbox, and clients that want feedback on interviews that have taken place. But it's the job hunters who send resumes for very specific requirements. And I got to tell you, I try to write them in a very specific way so it's crystal clear what the client is looking for, that submit resumes that aren't even close. They're not even in the same industry. Like the IT security role with risk management background applied to by the security guard. If you took 1 second to read the job description, you wouldn't apply, but you steal my time. So again, often the issue with job hunters isn't the recruiter, it's you. You're the problem here. Your behavior sets up this adversarial relationship. And I know you don't want to hear it, but I'm here to give you no BS job search advice, even if it makes you squirm. Oh yeah, by the way, if you don't like it, I don't care. I'll just delete the thumbs down. I'm Jeff Altman. Hope you found this helpful. My website is thebiggamehunter.us, or my new site, jobsearchcoachinghq.com. That's my favorite site now. Jobsearchcoachinghq.com is a site where I have curated information from around the web to help you find your next job more quickly. It's a place where you can learn and practice so that you're not walking into interviews cold. Your resume doesn't suck. You're using LinkedIn effectively. And here's the big thing here. You can ask me questions about your job search, and I'll help you with your search, but not as a recruiter. I want to be clear. I want to be your coach here. So if you have you're having problems with your search and you're not sure how to handle things, or you want to do things better, jobsearchcoachinghq.com is a site to go to. Hope you have a great day. Take care.